Have you ever wondered about those stories? Tales of alien abduction, someone being taken back to their ship, paralyzed, helpless, unable to resist their strange powers, their ability to mesmerize you. And after it happens, everyone knows that something has happened, changed inside, something that they can't understand. And it's no use even trying to remember, because they don't want you to remember. With their advanced capabilities, the superior mind, you're always helpless to resist it. Just knowing anything can be done to you when you're under the spell of it, dazed, docile, just passively obeying, so controlled, so compliant, just letting it happen, exploring your body with their special devices, probing you, changing you. And you can easily imagine how it's gonna feel for you afterwards when you find that you really like it, being taken, and you only want it even more, wanting them to come back for you, needing to feel it again and again. Hello, this is Jacqueline Powers, and the hypnosis audio that you'll be enjoying is called Alien Seduction, Close Encounters of the First Kind. And I say of the first kind because you will soon want to enjoy further encounters, feeling that once is just not enough for you. So tell me something. You are curious about alien encounters, aren't you? And as you continue listening to this file, you wonder if you may even encounter one yourself, don't you? And as you imagine what it will feel like to be taken to their ship, there's a part of you that really wants it to happen, isn't there? And when you go into trance for me, everything can happen the way you really want. And you will find it so easy to just go along with everything I say, as every word I say only takes you deeper and deeper into the story of your own alien abduction. And if you haven't already done so, you can allow your eyes to gently close and just notice how relaxing that feels. Becoming aware of your breathing. And as you notice how your breathing naturally slows, as your eyes close shut, and as you relax even more, and this wonderful feeling of trance can happen so easily just by closing your eyes, so you can become more aware of the way your entire body is relaxing even more. As you let yourself focus more easily on the sound of my voice, and as you sink further and further and deeper into this wonderful relaxation with every word I say, you are free to enjoy your powerful imagination as everything becomes so vivid, and everything I tell you to see, you will see, and everything I tell you to hear, you will hear, and everything you touch will feel so good and so clear and so real for you as you sleep. Remembering everything so clearly, and as you listen to my voice and feel yourself begin to relax, and as you feel the memories of that day returning, going to the beach, you will find yourself going back there now, remembering the special companion there with you. That day, someone you only recently met, someone so very pretty, and you remember your feelings for her, the crush that you felt, wondering if she felt that way too, hoping it wasn't too obvious to her, your crush. Recalling now, as you continue listening and focusing on my voice, that you enjoyed each other's company so well that day on the beach, playing in the waves, laughing together until you were both spent, salty, and exhausted, and afterwards dragging yourself up into the dunes and lying down side by side on soft, warm towels. Such a happy memory, so comforting, warm, and peaceful, lying together, cuddling, as you watch the last rays of the sun setting. And now I want you to focus on what happened after. Some point in the evening, perhaps several hours later that night, as you see yourself lying there peacefully among the dunes, dreaming in the moonlight, perhaps even dreaming of your special crush, and stirring a little, just enough to look over, to notice that your companion is no longer with you. You wonder if she's walking under the moonlight by the water. So you wander down to the water to seek for her underneath the glowing stars, beside the softly lapping waves, walking along the moonlight beach. And as you're walking, you can begin to notice the feeling of the soft sand against your feet, squeezing between your toes, aware of the gentle sound of the waves lapping against beach, washing in and out. And as my words can drift in and out of your mind, going deeper with every step, as you continue going further into the night, and as the bright, beautiful moon sinks down, sinking down below the horizon, noticing how the moonlight is reflecting on the ocean, the light dancing among the waves as it begins to dissolve into the water, sinking further into the night, dropping down more and more as you go deeper. And you will continue to be aware of my words as you sink down further into trance. My words will follow you down, and no matter how deep you go, my words will go with you and continue to guide you. And you feel something nearby, something that draws your gaze out to the horizon, where you see a beautiful round white light hanging over the water and glowing so vividly. It has to be the moon again. What else could it be? Just floating above the waves. And now I want you to look right into the light. That's right. Stare into the very center of the light. So big and round, so beautiful. And as you continue staring into the light, feeling it draw you in, you become aware that stepping out of the center of the beautiful glowing light, you begin to see a shadow shimmering in the light. And as you continue to watch, you realize the shadow is taking the form of someone walking towards you with the bright, glowing moon right behind them. And so, at first, you can only see them as an outline, a slim shape against the big, round moon. And from the way she is walking towards you, sleek, smooth, and sinuously swaying her hips, you are very certain that you're watching the outline of a woman, a beautiful, willowy woman walking towards you across the dancing waves. And you feel very sure this is your own pretty girlfriend returning to you, coming towards you out of the bright, round moon floating above the ocean. And now she's walking up the beach, gliding over the moonlit sand, so graceful and sensual, noticing the dark outline of her body, curvaceous and sleek, against the big round moon, moving like a cat as you watch the gentle sway of her hips as she approaches you. So very feline and feminine. You want very much to go to her, to hold her, but you can't really move right now. That sleepy body won't respond, and so you just keep watching her approach you. And now she's beside you. You notice now that she's changed. She's wearing a very different swimsuit from before. It's all blue like the moonlight, covering her entire body, head to toe, even her head, shimmering in the moonlight. And you can't help but notice how it clings so close to her body, just like a second skin, just as you wish you could cling to her. She could easily be naked, and for a moment you just stare at her beautiful, sleek body, so tall and graceful, the sway of her hips and the curve of her full breast, so perfect in the blue moonlight. And she's so close to you, and you notice now that here on the beach, in the moonlight, even her face looks a shade of blue. Her skin, her lips, and you stare up into her big, round eyes. She's just looking down at you curiously. So much taller than you. Strange how you never noticed that before. But right now, you can't really think of that because your own eyes come only as high as those beautiful, full breasts. And they're right there in front of you, still wet from the ocean, so full, so perfect. And as she looks down at you with that quizzical smile, she crooks an elbow, raising her slender hand up to the side of her face, and then she licks her wrist, her tongue running over her wrist and her palm as if she's cleaning it, and then raising that hand even higher, all the way above her head. She licks again. This time, her tongue running from her elbow all the way up her arm. Her long blue tongue licking its way up over her wrist, just like a cat cleaning herself. And you watch, fascinated by her cat-like motions, as she licks her arm several times over, licking it all the way to her wrist, and finally licking all her long, slender fingers. And you find this so very curious, and yet you don't really know how to ask her what it all means. You want to ask, but the words won't come to you. And you feel very certain that still you can't move at all. So you don't try. And she just licks herself again. One long last time, licking all the way to the very tips of her fingers. And you feel her smile inside your mind as you keep looking up still watching her hand, fixated on the movement of her tongue licking her long, slender fingers as she slowly lowers her hand now, lowering it to your face. Closer, watching it come closer, closer, and closer as you feel her wet fingers now pressing on your forehead, right between your eyes. Mine. You don't see her lips move, but you hear the command. The moment those fingers touch you, mine. She's rubbing her wrist against your forehead, placing her scent upon you, rubbing above your eyes in slow, sensual circles, trying to watch as your eyes roll back into your head. As one last time, you hear the command echoing inside your mind. Mine. And with a gentle push of her fingers, there between your eyes, you feel her command explode inside of you, exploding into 1,000 tiny stars, all shimmering and twinkling inside your mind as your legs turn to jelly, and she holds your weight as you drop, falling slowly, sinking down to the soft sand. And later, as you lay there beneath her on the sand at her feet, feeling her DNA spreading through you like a chain reaction, spreading inside of you, running along your nerves like fire, filling you with a surge of pleasure, changing you cell by cell. Your body is tingling everywhere now, buzzing and thrilling with her tiny stars, exploding against your nerves. And this feeling is very pleasurable for you. So you just lay there, shaking and shuddering, quivering, letting it happen as she reaches down again and places her long, slender finger on your forehead, slowly tracing it down between your eyes, caressing your nose with the glowing tip of her finger, and in all the places she touches you, the changes inside of you. Answer her command, changing to her touch, adapting you, touching your nose as it shrinks down to a cute little point, caressing your cheeks with her finger as you feel the lightest tickle of a slender whisker sprouting there, growing out from your cheeks. Good kitty, as she traces her slender finger all along the line of your neck. You feel it stretching, growing longer, thinner, and now she's tracing 2 fingers across your chest, tracing little circles and smiling to herself as you feel the swelling, feeling your chest expanding to her touch as your soft, round breast grow for her, filling outwards, larger, fuller, and more sensitive to her touch, feeling her hands until she's satisfied that you fully mirror her form, and everywhere her finger goes, every touch fills you with pleasure and pride, the pride of a pet, the pride that a pet feels, knowing your owner is pleased. And now you want so much to look just like how she looks, in every way to please her. It's all you desire, all that you want, and she's giving you your desire, running her hands over your hips, feeling them swell to her touch, curving out, growing rounder, so pleased with your cat-like form. Just the thought of wanting to please your new owner feels so good for you now, setting every nerve on fire, and all you can feel now is pleasure as her changes take over you. It's going faster now. It won't stop. It's gone too far. And she's smiling as she watches her work. She doesn't need to speak because you can already hear her words in your mind, and it just feels natural to listen to her words, to allow them to guide you, doing as she wants, wanting to please her, and feeling such a powerful glow of pleasure in your mind at the thought of pleasing her. And now that she has you, what will she do with you? Right now, you have no control, no notion of what she will do with you. Will she keep you as her pet, taking you back to her world as a curiosity, something to pet, as you sit obediently at her feet, so happy that she'll keep you. Or maybe she'll return you to her alien craft for further experimentation, examining you, probing you with her devices. As you're staring into the lights, lost, helpless, and so fascinated, feeling so strange, a victim may sometimes remember coupling with them, leaving their seed inside of you, so you'll always obey any time they come for you. Can you imagine what it will feel like for you when you begin to notice that now you're wanting it even more? It's the way they change you, tampering with your mind, and afterwards feeling the desire so strong, wanting to be taken even further, deeper down into it, knowing that you can't help it now. You can't stop it. The desire to be taken, to lose control, to be collected like an animal or a pet, abducted for their pleasure or their experiments. You don't know what they want from you, and you no longer care. You just want to feel the pleasure of mindless surrender all over again, to be hypnotized by the beautiful lights, fascinated by the strange colors swirling around inside your mind, passively obeying and giving in to the pleasure they'll use on you again. Next time, hypnotizing you more easily each time they come for you, keeping you docile, making you want it more and more, wanting to be taken, a prisoner of your own need, just knowing you've been changed by this experience, this close encounter, feeling the memories sinking down inside, holding on to them deep inside, so you can be taken again next time so easily. Now that you've had this need inside of you, you'll come again when you're called, won't you, my pet? And now, though she'll leave you this time, you just know that she'll be back for you. Now that she's marked you deep inside, where only she can tell, and only you can feel how good it feels, knowing that you're special. You belong, don't you, my pet? as I return you now back to your normal waking mind so you can wake up and go about your normal life and be even more ready for the next time you are taken or abducted. Waking now on the count of 5. 1. Feeling wonderful, energized, and happy. 2. Feeling the control return to your limbs. 3. Becoming aware of your surroundings. 4. Pleased to be such a good subject, so responsive and willing, knowing you can enjoy this feeling again anytime you listen to my files. 5. Wake up, feeling good. You're free. For now. And if you've enjoyed this experience, please leave a comment underneath the video to let me know that you want more. And if you really do want more, if you want hypnotic encounters of the deeper kind, more adventurous hypnosis, just follow the links underneath the video to my Patreon or to my Jacqueline Powers collection. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.